Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Government House. My name is Hugh Boreham and I have the honour to be the Official Secretary to His Excellency the Governor. This is the fifth and last of the 5 ceremonies, COVID-adjusted ceremonies, that we're holding in October and November to present Australian honours, most of which were announced on the Queen's birthday this year. The ceremony is being live streamed and will be available on YouTube afterwards if you would like to view it again or show your friends and family. As we start, could I please ask that you ensure your mobile phones are turned to silent? And now I would ask you please to be upstanding for the arrival of His Excellency the Governor and Mrs. Lay, and please to remain standing for the playing of the Vice-Regal Salute. Your Excellency, the following appointments to Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division have been made. Ms. Elizabeth Diana Perry is recognised for significant service to tertiary education, to business and to the community. Ms. Perry has drawn on her extensive experience as an employment law specialist to serve as chairman and board member of iconic organisations at a local, national and international level. Innovative and forward-thinking, and known for her encouragement of evidence-based decision-making, her appointments have included Chair and President of the RAA, Deputy Chancellor of Flinders University, and board appointments to the South Australian Museum, Radiology SA, and Return to Work SA. She has also served the Australian Automobile Association as President and Chair of its National Council, and has been a member of the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile. She is a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Company Directors and a member of several law professional associations. She was also a widely respected partner at EMA Legal and has recently retired from legal practice. Ms. Perry is also recognised for her service to St Peter's College, the Wilderness School and South Australian Water Polo Incorporated. Ms. Elizabeth Diana Perry. Your Excellency, the following appointment to Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been made. Mr. David Christopher Savage is recognised for significant service to Lions Club International and to Rugby Union. Mr. Savage is a shining example of the Lions motto, "We serve." He has held several leadership roles with Lions Club International Foundation, Lions Clubs of Brighton and West Beach, and as Governor of 201C2 District. He is widely respected for his role in successfully promoting Lions nationally and contributing significantly to the Camp Quality Achievement Awards and the fundraising achievements of the former Lions Personality Quest. In 2004, he was awarded the prestigious Lions International President's Leadership Medal. In the field of rugby, he was a member and volunteer for almost 3 decades at one of the state's oldest rugby clubs, the Woodville Rugby Union Football Club, where he was made a life member in 2007. Mr. Savage also served as a board member and deputy president of South Australian Rugby Union. More recently, he has been generous in sharing his experience of living with Parkinson's for greater community understanding of the disease. Mr. David Christopher Savage. Your Excellency, the Public Service Medal has been awarded to the following recipients. Mrs. Jacqueline Costanzo is recognised for outstanding public service to the communities of the APY lands. Mrs. Costanzo is a well-respected leader who has excelled in managing services in some of South Australia's most vulnerable regions. Since 2011, she has managed disability services on the APY lands. She has been a strong advocate for improving service delivery to the Anangu people and has gained the trust and respect of both the area's service providers and community members. She has also applied her approach to work in disaster recovery, which has seen her volunteer for 2 major deployments, one to Queensland and another to Cuddly Creek and Kangaroo Island. Mrs. Costanzo has diligently navigated relationships between government and non-government agencies, always ensuring that the community and clients are at the centre of any strategy. Mrs. Jacqueline Costanzo. Your Excellency, the Public Service Medal has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. Eric Dahl is recognised for outstanding public service to natural and cultural heritage preservation and conservation in South Australia. Mr. Dahl commenced employment with the National Parks and Wildlife Service in South Australia in the Bel Air National Park in 1976. His achievements as a ranger are wide and varied. He has worked to support the establishment of the Inaminka Regional Reserve, to establish the landscape-scale conservation initiative known as Bounce Back in the Northern Flinders Ranges, and is currently the Senior Ranger responsible for the operations of the new Adelaide International Bird Sanctuary. Having built productive relationships with Aboriginal communities, pastoralists, mining companies, conservation and volunteer organisations, he has acted as a mediator between stakeholders and interest groups to facilitate positive outcomes. Mr. Dahl's significant contribution over many years to the National Parks and Wildlife Service in South Australia is to be highly commended. Mr. Eric Dahl. Your Excellency, the Public Service Medal has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. David Paul Engelhart is recognised for outstanding public service to the education sector in South Australia. Mr. Engelhart has had a key leadership role in building the business, intelligence and data capabilities of the Department for Education in South Australia. Starting with a small unit of 4 staff, he has built a directorate of 40 people, which has resulted in all South Australian government schools having access to a consistent range of performance and lead indicators. He has been the driving force in the development and implementation of student wellbeing surveys since 2012, and has also been instrumental in the development of data sharing agreements with several state government agencies. Mr. Engelhart's strategic vision and perseverance have made a significant and lasting impact on the education system in South Australia, which has improved life outcomes for all students. Mr. David Paul Engelhart. Your Excellency, the Ambulance Service Medal has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. Michael Burden is recognised for distinguished service to the community within the South Australian Ambulance Service. Mr. Burden has been a member of the SA Ambulance Service for more than 17 years. As the regional team leader for Kangaroo Island, he is a well-respected leader and mentor whose achievements have positively influenced many areas of the organisation. He is also the only intensive care paramedic on Kangaroo Island. Mr. Burden's outstanding leadership during the recent devastating bushfires on Kangaroo Island was invaluable, as he provided assistance within evacuated fire zones and continued to serve the community after his own family had been evacuated. He has also been instrumental in developing and implementing the Volunteer Graduated Authority to Practice program, which enables volunteers to receive comprehensive training in a diverse range of areas. Mr. Burden's significant service to the SA Ambulance Service and to the community of Kangaroo Island has been of the highest calibre. Mr. Michael Burden. Your Excellency, the Ambulance Service Medal has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. John Lawrence Shute is recognised for distinguished service to the community within the South Australian Ambulance Service. Mr. Shute has been a volunteer with the SA Ambulance Service in the Flinders region for more than 26 years. He is the volunteer team leader for Hawker, a small and remote community that responds to major incidents, often involving injured or stranded tourists and significant motor vehicle accidents. He has led his team and his community through times of drought and floods, and throughout has provided dedicated leadership and crucial services. He is well respected by his peers and others in the South Australian Ambulance Service and is a highly valued member of that organisation. Mr. Shute's dedication to the service and the countless hours he has volunteered to assist others underpins his care and commitment to his local community, to his team, and to visitors to the region. Mr. John Lawrence Shute. Your Excellency, the Australian Corrections Medal has been awarded to Mr. James Edward Rutter in recognition of distinguished service to the community within the correctional services of South Australia. Mr. Rutter commenced employment with the South Australian Department for Correctional Services in 1989 and has been a case management coordinator since 1998. In this role, Mr. Rutter has daily and extensive contact with prisoners. He is actively involved in supporting prisoners with reintegration, not only in a custodial setting, but also by accompanying them in pre-release activities in the community. Mr. Rutter is a mentor to other colleagues. He works collaboratively with members of his team and leads with integrity. And he is well respected by his colleagues for his knowledge, passion, and commitment to the department. Mr. Rutter has performed above and beyond in his role as case management coordinator and has demonstrated an outstanding commitment to correctional services and to the safety of the South Australian community. Mr. James Edward Rutter. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. Graham Peter Colliver Day is recognised for service to the livestock industry. Over the course of Mr. Day's career, he has become one of the most liked, respected and successful people in his field. After taking over the Allendale stud that his father established in 1931, Mr. Day expanded its range of livestock, growing the enterprise into one of the premier stud operations in the country. In addition to his business interests, Mr. Day has always found time to give back to his industry by serving on numerous committees. He is a former president of the Australian Poll Dorset Association and former chairman of both the Australian Stud Sheep Breeders Association and its South Australian Committee. Mr. Day has also been deeply committed to supporting the Royal Adelaide Show as a former exhibitor and judge. Mr. Graham Peter Colliver Day. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Mrs. Lorraine Debrasini is recognised for service to seniors. For Mrs. Debrasini, fishnet stockings, sequins and glitter are a regular part of serving her community. A member of the Australian Retired Persons Association for more than 20 years, she has been coordinator of its Tapliners and a Variety group since 2008. The Tapliners is a dance and performance group of women aged from their 60s to their 90s, which rehearses weekly at Enfield Community Centre and undertakes regular performances in the community. As coordinator, Mrs. Debrasini is responsible for overseeing the development of membership, concerts, costumes and more, and she was also in charge of finances for a period as the group's treasurer. Mrs. Debrasini is known for her positivity and enthusiasm, her can-do attitude, and of course, her dancing skills. Mrs. Lorraine Debrasini. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Ms. Meredith Lee Edwards is recognised for service to education. Ms. Edwards is a champion of education and of the many benefits that cultural diversity brings to our community. For more than 15 years, Ms. Edwards has been principal of Woodville High School, which educates students from more than 60 different cultural backgrounds, including refugees. She led Woodville through the process of accreditation by the Council of International Schools, formalising the school's commitment to international education and global citizenship. Before this, Ms. Edwards taught in a range of metropolitan and country schools and was coordinator of the Aboriginal and Anangu schools in the Open Access College. Ms. Edwards has also been chair of the Wellbeing Committee of the South Australian Secondary Principals Association and chair of the Western Adelaide Secondary Schools Network. Ms. Meredith Lee Edwards. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Ms. Monica Laxoffi is recognised for service to music education. Ms. Laxoffi has performed extensively as a pianist and harpsichordist, both here and overseas. In addition, she has enjoyed a distinguished career as a music educator. Ms. Laxoffi joined the staff of the University of Adelaide's Elder Conservatorium in 1985. Since then, she has shared her joy of music with many thousands of young people. She is known as a highly engaging teacher who expects the very best from her students, and has also made an outstanding contribution to musical associations over many years. Ms. Laxoffi has been an examiner for the Australian Musical Examinations Board for more than 3 decades, has spent several years as president of the Accompanists Guild of South Australia, and has also served as council member for Recitals Australia and the Music Teachers Association. Ms. Monica Laxoffi. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Mrs. Janice Elaine McClellan is recognised for service to the community of Bordertown. Mrs. McClellan's dedicated and generous spirit can be felt in all corners of the Bordertown community. She has a strong interest in health and is a former chairperson of the Bordertown branch of the St John Ambulance and president of the local ambulance committee. She has been a member of several committees with the Bordertown Memorial Hospital, as well as groups that serve the broader Tatiara region. Mrs. McClellan has been extensively involved in the community of Wolseley, a small town near Bordertown, where she has volunteered with the local church, carnival, Ladies Progress Club, and much more. Mrs. McClellan was also an elected member with the Tatiara District Council for 10 years. Mrs. Janice Elaine McClellan. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. Jeffrey Bruce Morgan is recognised for service to the visual arts and to the community. Mr. Morgan took up painting in 1990 to bolster his mental health after a work-related injury. He fell in love with his new pursuit, capturing the rugged, dramatic scenery of the Flinders Ranges and the South Australian outback on canvas. With passion, determination, and resilience, Mr. Morgan turned his hobby into a profitable business. Over the years, his art gallery in Hawker has been visited by hundreds of thousands of people from across the world. This has brought him personal acclaim, as well as reinvigorating his small country town. These visitors come to see the breathtaking Wilpena panorama, 30 metres in length, and the Arkaroola panorama, 46 metres in length. Mr. Morgan has also sold many thousands of individual works to buyers internationally. Mr. Jeffrey Bruce Morgan. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. The late Mrs. Carolyn Edith Moule is recognised for service to education and to mathematics. Mr. Ronald Moule, her husband, will accept the award on behalf of the family. Most adults can reflect on their schooling and recall at least one teacher who was exceptional at their job, someone who went above and beyond to help them understand their work and to inspire them to reach their potential. Mrs. Moule was this teacher to many, many students. Over a long career, she shared her love of mathematics with thousands of students at Wilderness and Westminster schools. She went on to lecture at the University of Adelaide and the University of South Australia, as well as to work as a curriculum developer for the Senior Secondary Board of South Australia. Mrs. Moule was also an active member of the Mathematical Association of South Australia, serving in many roles, including that of president. She remained committed to the association even in her retirement. The late Mrs. Carolyn Edith Moule. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. Barry Colin Need is recognised for service to the Uniting Church in Australia. Mr. Need has devoted his life to living his faith through service to others, both within the church and the broader community. He has been an active member of the Vermont Uniting Church, located in South Plympton, for many years as a parishioner and office bearer. He was the founding treasurer of Mediacom Education, an Adelaide-based publisher of Christian materials, including books, e-books, and magazines. He was also honorary treasurer of the New Times, the magazine of the Uniting Church in South Australia, for 15 years. In addition, Mr. Need has been a proud supporter of his local school and sports communities, as a board member on the Westminster School Council and a former team manager with the Forestville Basketball Club. Mr. Barry Colin Need. Your Excellency, the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division has been awarded to the following recipient. Mr. Jeffrey Denham Penley is recognised for service to the building and construction industry. In South Australia, Mr. Penley's name is synonymous with the building industry, where he has worked for several major companies over many decades and has represented his industry at its highest levels. Mr. Penley has been the Director and Construction Manager for Crossway Construction since 2013. In a former role at Built Environs, he ran the graduate and apprentice programs, took part in the Anglicare Major Projects Committee, and worked on a project to build youth accommodation for the Salvation Army. Mr. Penley is the current Secretary and former President of the Australian Institute of Building SA chapter, and has also been a representative on the National Council. In his personal time, Mr. Penley is a team leader at the Edge Church Renella and has been involved in outreach programs in Cambodia. Mr. Jeffrey Denham Penley.